Jake wakes up in a world where everything is him. And at first, it feels like paradise.
Nice.
But comfort left unchecked can rot the soul. This is the story of how Jake almost lost himself by living in a world too easy to love. Jake's day starts off simple. He's lounging on the couch, lazily knitting. It's peaceful until a tiny green fly lands on his head. Except it's not a fly, it's Magic Man.
The waffle doll shall fall, lest you eat the yellow dough.
And then he stabs Jake in the head with a syringe. No explanation, no punchline, just one of Magic Man's magical lessons.
Because this day, a magical life lesson comes to you.
Now, this episode has been interpreted in countless ways. As an existential nightmare, as an environmental allegory, even as surreal psychological horror. But for me, it's something else entirely. It's confronting, it's beautiful, it's deeply human. And it's one of the most unexpected tearful goodbyes in modern animation. Allow me to explain by recapping the episode. After Magic Man injected Jake with something, he sent the shape-shifting dog into a deep sleep to wander a landscape made entirely of himself. Jake gasps. And then he wakes up somewhere new. At first glance, it seems peaceful, yet horrifying.
Everything's made of me.
And everything Jake imagines appears.
I bet there's like a cool city or something around here.
It looks like a normal city here. There are sidewalks, apartment buildings, crosswalks, people walking around doing people things, all greeting Jake.
Hi. Oh, hi.
Except these aren't people, they're all Jake. And for a dog like Jake, that sounds like heaven.
Man, this place is awesome.
But then the first signs of the tearful goodbye starts when Goose shows up.
Hey, is that Jake?
Hey there.
Come on, man, it's Goose! Your best friend, Goose!
Because Jake and Goose do know each other. They've been best friends for 14 years, just not on Adventure Time. The voice actor of Jake, John DiMaggio, is also the voice actor of Bender in Futurama. And the voice actor of Fry, Billy West, is Goose right now in Adventure Time. Now, in Futurama, they were inseparable. It's why Goose says,
Oh, Jake, you big goof! How long's it been? 2, 3 years?
He's not just talking about in-universe time, he's talking to us. Because this episode aired just over 2 years after Futurama was cancelled. And what better way to say goodbye than with one last party?
Come on, let's get you home. Everybody's waiting for you at the party.
Party?
No, party!
Goose laughs and drags him along, like they've done this 100 times before. The place he takes him to? It's not just a party, it's a celebration of Jake. Everyone in the room, every single guest, is Jake. There's a fountain of Jake holding a coin with Princess Bubblegum on it. There's paintings of him, and him with his parents. The DJ? Jake. The crowd? Jake. The snacks? They're Jake too. And Jake? He just leans into it. He doesn't ask questions, he doesn't panic, he laughs, he smiles. He feels right at home.
Do it again, Goose.
Because why wouldn't he? Everything is easy here. Everyone is friendly. Nothing is unfamiliar. This world is built entirely out of Jake. And Jake likes Jake. At least at first. Because here's the thing, this episode isn't really about Jake being trapped in an existential nightmare. It's about him being tempted. Tempted by comfort, by sameness, by a world that never challenges him. That's the brilliance of Magic Man's magic. He didn't build a prison, he built a paradise. And the most dangerous part? Jake doesn't want to leave. And the truth is, most of us wouldn't either. It's easy to stay where things feel familiar, where you're never questioned, where you never have to ask who you are, because everything around you is already answering for you. But that's not living. That's forgetting. Forgetting what it means to grow, to ache, to change. And Jake, he's not just drifting anymore, he's dissolving quietly, painlessly, into the very idea of himself. Because when everything around you is comfort, you stop noticing how far you've faded. So if you've ever felt yourself slowly disappearing, not all at once, but moment by moment, day by day, Jake is about to show you what it takes to come back, and what you'll have to leave behind to do it. The first crack of Jake's comfort zone doesn't come from within. It shakes the ground beneath his feet. Jake quakes, they call them. Sudden tremors that ripple through the city of Jake. Buildings shake, streets warp. But no one panics, not even Goose. He just brushes it off.
What is that?
Oh, that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
But it doesn't feel normal. Not to Jake. Something's off. And then he realizes he's hungry. Really hungry. Goose offers him nachos, but when Jake goes to eat them,
All right! Ow! Something's wrong, Goose. Jakey can't eat any of these nachos, but Jakey needs nachos!
they're all made of Jake. Everything in this world is. And no matter how good they look, no matter how cheesy they are, they're not really food. They're him. That's when Jake starts to understand this world can't feed him because it's not real. It's familiar. It's easy. But it's empty. The second crack comes with the sea urchin, or Tinny Tim. It scurries up and tells Jake,
Mr. Jake! Mr. Jake! Mr. Jake, the mayor wants to see you straight away.
Jake follows it to the mayor, which of course is Zap Brannigan, but in here he's a literal version of Jake in a top hat.
Now look, we're at Orange Alert here. Below us are gathered the city's top minds.
He's in a bit of trouble there. And the top minds made one thing clear. There's something going on with the world they're living in since Jake arrived, and it's bad.
And they've noticed that our seismographic troubles have increased exponentially since your arrival.
Luckily, Jake's got it figured out. He says the word, omelet. The world shakes. He's the cause of the quakes, obviously. And worse, he's also the cure. Eric Adamkinson, or Professor Farnsworth, lays it out plainly.
If Jake leaves, that would mean the utter destruction of our world. I believe that Jake...
The Jake people see only one option left.
We should imprison Jake immediately.
No hesitation, no discussion. And suddenly, Jake, the guy who made everything here possible, is locked away. But maybe that's the point. I think what Adventure Time is symbolizing here is the way others around you could keep you small in life. If you start working on yourself to become the best version of you out there, people around you hate to see it. Not because they're evil, but because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. They say they support you, but they want you small, predictable, safe. So instead of encouraging you, they hold you in place. Because seeing you move forward means facing what they've chosen not to do. But there's always a way out. Just like Eric, who, with all of his theories, thinks he's found a way out. He'll journey to Jake's glob worlds to appease Jake's appetite with food that isn't made out of him and save everyone. But what he finds is not what he expected.
Almighty Jake Globs, I beseech your aid. Do you have bagels? No! Oh, I thought you'd be beautiful.
Now, in all the existential nightmare theories, people have speculated that Finn is supposed to represent Cthulhu, but I think it's something more personal. Ready? It's Zoidberg. The last nod to a show both Billy and John didn't want to say a tearful goodbye to just yet, but they had to come to terms with it, just like Eric Adamkinson has to come with terms with his god not being beautiful.
But you're not. You're hideous! Hideous!
This is something he can't comprehend, and he literally dissolves under the crushing weight of his consciousness. But the real heartbreak? That comes next, as this still isn't the tearful goodbye the show truly deserved. That comes moments later, when we see Jake laying in his cell, alone, hungry, silent. The world he created is cracking under the weight of what it's missing. Challenge, change, reality. That's when Goose returns.
Hey, you're hilarious!
And in true Futurama fashion, Goose bends the bars the same way Bender would have bent anything in Futurama.
Huh? Goose?
Go.
Jake hesitates.
But what if Eric Adamkinson is right? What if you and all the J-peeps disappear and I can't bring you back?
If he leaves, this world is gone. But Goose doesn't sugarcoat it. He slaps Jake across the face.
Go eat, Jake!
Because Goose knows, real growth requires letting go, even if it means losing what feels like home. Goose symbolizes Jake's wake-up call, that it's okay to move on and step out of that comfort zone even if it feels like it's at the expense of the others around you. So that's what Jake does. He takes a huge breath, steps out of his cell, and stretches straight up, with Goose waving his final goodbyes from the ground. As Jake grows taller, Jake people in the city get pulled into the ground, and then the city gets pulled in. The world, the comfort, the illusion begins to fade. Not in violence, not in anger, but in peace. Jake wakes up in the tree fort.
Jake? What's going on, man? Feeling okay?
Just getting a snack, Goose. Just getting a snack.
And that's the tearful goodbye. Not just to Goose, not just to Futurama, but to the version of yourself you built out of comfort, the version that never had to change. Jake wakes up, the beans are bland, the world is quiet again. And yet he is not the same, because he left something behind, and he brought something back. You see, the comfort didn't disappear. The laughter, the jowls, the friends, they didn't vanish when the dream faded. They became a part of him. Quite literally, they were absorbed into him again. That's the thing we never really talk about when it comes to moving on. It feels like you have to leave everything behind. But you don't. You take it with you. Every version of yourself, every moment you've clung to, every inside joke, every time you felt safe. They fold into you like memories, like layers of warmth beneath your skin. Not to trap you, but to shape you. You didn't lose them. You grew around them. And that is how you say goodbye. Not with denial, not with resistance, but with gratitude. Because they were never meant to stay. They were meant to carry you here. And now it's your turn to go further. So when you finally step out of that comfort zone, when you stretch upward like Jake did, you don't leave your past behind. You carry it inside you. That goofy version of yourself, that safe little world, those voices that cheered you on, they're still with you, but they no longer define you. They freed you. That's the lesson Magic Man left behind. Buried under a cryptic rhyme and a surreal dreamscape, a quiet truth. Growth means letting go, but never forgetting what made you. If you want to see just how far Jake's growth really goes, how deep his powers run when he stops holding back, then you're gonna love this next one. Click here to find out how strong Jake really is. Because comfort might have dulled him for a moment, but when it counts, Jake is one of the most powerful beings in OO.